I'm here in San Antonio for NAREIT's REITwise, our 2019 Law, Accounting, and Finance Conference. Joining me today is Troy McHenry, Executive Vice President, General Counsel, and Corporate Secretary with HCP. Troy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Matt. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Okay. Now, here at REITwise, you moderated a session on issues tackled by REIT General Counsels. One of those issues has to do with board refreshment and diversity. How are General Counsels addressing that challenge?
Despite the length of board tenure being at the critical component of focus, what you're finding is that not a lot of institutional investors are actually putting pressure on companies to adopt age or term limits, and accordingly, companies are slow to kind of adopt such measures. So where does the change come from? You'll start to see there's a catalyst of change coming from states like the state of California, which has now put a mandate out for a certain number of women on the board by the end of 2019. And I think that that is going to be something that's going to be in focus and not a topic that you're going to go see going away. So what should companies do, right? I think that it is, given the sensitive nature of the topic, it's probably one that is addressed best initially by the CEO and the chairman, and the GC, I think, provides a meaningful role in that they can provide advice and to input on how these regulations are working, where there's trends happening and other developments that would be helpful to that conversation. At HCP, we're actually a proponent of these changes. What we've found, and I can tell you through experience, having an age or term limit policy in place makes a difficult conversation a little less difficult. And what we're actually finding is that after our annual meeting, we'll have implemented the first year of our age limit policy that will result in 7 directors, 3 of whom will be women. So we think that will be kind of at the forefront of being progressive of that nature, but there's always room to grow.
And what are some of the best suggestions that you have for fellow general counsels when it comes to shareholder engagement and outreach practices?
Yes, proactive. Proactive shareholder engagement and outreach can be an effective tool. And I think that if you look at the way that CEOs and CFOs approach it and model that same kind of practice in which you have an annual plan of which investors that you're going to target and some of the key themes that you want to hit on, I think that's very important. As we've seen over the years, the governance teams at these institutional investors are growing and increasing in prominence. And I think it's very important to establish a relationship and develop a rapport with them before a crisis occurs, and you must conduct a shareholder campaign.
And lastly, we're hearing a lot about the importance of ESG throughout an organization. What role do you see a company's legal department playing as it relates to ESG reporting?
I believe that the legal department is, maybe the best suited place for ESG reporting. The reason why I have that view is that legal is responsible for disclosure generally. You see it with our reviews of the annual report, the proxy statement. You have other securities disclosures, press releases, and other investor relations disclosures. So I think that in terms of making sure that there's a consistent message that the company has in those disclosures, and as well as in the sustainability disclosures, I think there's a lot of merit that can be attained from that. The other thing that I would add is that these surveys for the ESG disclosure are very technical, and they have numerous questions that require a lot of interpretation, which I think that the legal department is best suited for.
Right. Troy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matt.
For more information on this and other real estate news and analysis, be sure to visit NAREIT's website, REIT.com.